Hello friends, welcome back. My name's Ramon. How are you today? So today we're going to be doing a review on something that's super interesting to me, and that is a dermatologist owned / created skincare line, specifically that of Dr. Sam Bunting, a dermatologist and YouTuber based here in London. I've referred to her content a couple times and I've reviewed one of her products already on my channel. I'll have that linked in the card. But today we're talking about the entirety of her skincare line. Now the thing with dermatologist created products to me is I've always talked about how I view dermatologist perspective on skincare. For me, it tends to lean very conservatively. For them, it's a lot about being as low irritation, as simple, as basic as possible, really focusing on the key elements. And real talk, that's kind of it. For me, they just tend to play it really, really safe. They get rid of a lot of the bells and whistles that some people enjoy, some people find really fun, but also some people can find very irritating or sensitizing. And so we're gonna look at her line and really break it down and talk about why it is the way it is. But before we get into it, I'm gonna ask that you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, and Fenty related content on my channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Down below in the comments, tell me, have you tried any stuff from Dr. Sam's line? What are some products you're looking at or some products you really enjoyed? What are some other dermatologist-owned brands you're really into or really liking? I know there's a lot of derms that have private practices and private lines as well. I'm slowly looking into maybe trying out some more, but tell me which ones you're liking. Sound off. I also want to say, if you're watching this in real time, I put in an application to be part of the 2021 Sephora Squad. So I'm asking if you've found my content useful, you enjoy watching my videos and, participating in my content. If you'd want to support me in the running for the Sephora Squad, I have a link in the description box for you to be able to submit a testimonial as a form of support. If you were able to, I'd really appreciate that. I also do want to say that I got these products all in PR. Dr. Sam's team reached out to me back in, I think, November, sent me a small range of the products, and I've been trying them out ever since then. Even though the products were sent to me, I'm not paid for this. There's no collaboration or partnership with the brand, and so pretty much I'm just giving my full opinion, objectively based off my experience with these products since the last, 3-4 months now. So I have 7 of the products in front of me. I know she has a couple other products I don't have, specifically 2 sunscreens under the Gossamer name, as well as a body moisturizer, I believe. I don't have those just yet, but if you do want to see reviews of those, just let me know. I'll try to get my hands on them. But real talk, this is pretty much the basics of the line. You hit every key point, and I think as I get into it, I'll explain what each item's more addressed to. But what's really cool is, as I mentioned, very simple, very conservative line that all happens to be alcohol, fragrance, and essential oil free, which I know for a lot of people is like Christmas to hear. So let's get into it, breaking it down product by product. First up, we're going to talk about her cleanser, and this comes in at 16 pounds. Looking at the product claims for this, you have a truly uncomplicated, effective, and elegant jelly cleanser that does exactly what a cleanser should do. Flawless cleanser suits all skin types, even redness-prone, sensitive skin, and note that point comes across pretty much through the whole line. That's the whole point of it. It thoroughly removes makeup, sunscreen, oil, and grime whilst respecting the skin's natural barrier with its acid mantle-friendly pH of 5, specifically formulated for acne-prone grown-up skin, and supports the active ingredients and leave-on products. And that can be for any products in your normal routine, but also specifically for the ones she has in her line, which we'll get into. The ingredients behind this, honestly, are very simple and to the point. You have basically emulsifying surfactants up in this that are going to gently remove the impurities without stripping the skin, and then you also have things like allantoin, aloe, and tocopherol acetate to give you some antioxidant benefits as well as some more soothing benefits to the skin. It's a very gentle jelly cleanser. Like, it comes out of the bottle, looks like a jelly. You work this into your skin, and it doesn't lather, it doesn't foam, it just keeps the consistency as it helps to break down the impurities to wash away. And can it take off makeup, sunscreen, and oil and all that stuff like it claims it does? Yes, but can it do that all in one go? No. I find this is a really nice cleanser if you want to do a double cleanse with just one product. You can go in twice with this. It'll wash away each layer really nicely, really quickly, and it won't leave you stripped. But in terms of how effective it is as a cleanser in terms of getting a full beat, water-resistant sunscreen off in one go, no. But overall, I'm surprised at how much I really enjoy this just because it doesn't do a lot. It just cleanses the skin very effectively, but without all the bells and whistles like I mentioned. But this is something I find that rivals potentially my favorite cleanser from Stratia or even the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. It has that really jelly, milky consistency that just rubs around your skin, breaks things down, washes away. Considering how often I reach for this and the price point being only 16 pounds, this is something I actually would consider repurchasing, especially on summer mornings where I just want a little bit of a cleanse because I might be a little bit oily, but I don't want a full foaming cleanse experience. Next up, I have the 2 serums from the line. I have the Brightly for 44 pound as well as the Nightly for 39 pound. And to me, this is really where the magic takes place, breaking each one down. First up, I have the Brightly, and looking at the product claims, it's intended to even out skin tone, calm bumps, and clear pores. It's a lightweight, smooth serum that just sinks quickly into the skin with no stickiness in the morning. It's formulated with 4 actives. You got azelaic acid at 10%, niacinamide at 5%, ascorbyl glucoside at 2%, and that's a vitamin C derivative. Then you have bakuchiol at 1%, which is interesting to see in a day serum. What all those ingredients are going to do in conjunction with each other is help to minimize the look of pigmentation related issues on the skin, help promote skin clarity, clarity and prevent blemishes, give you some good antioxidant benefits, as well as give you some anti-inflammatory soothing benefits as well. My experience with this one, it is really lightweight. You rub it in, it sinks into the skin, but it's a little bit spicy. I definitely had to work up to using this on a daily basis because I would apply it and it would actually tingle/burn parts of my skin, and it's really interesting to have that in a day serum. But it is super lightweight, and I find this preps my skin really nicely for sunscreen afterwards. To me, this has enough of a fatty acid emollient content to it where this can low-key moisturize my skin adequately. Before a sunscreen, I have more oily skin, so I don't need a lot. But if you have dry skin, definitely follow this up with a moisturizer. And next we have the Nightly. This is the nighttime serum. Looking at the product claims for this, again, it's another lightweight serum that's super smooth, quick absorbing. This one specifically has different actives though. You got 2% great active retinoid, 5% azelaic acid, 1% bakuchiol again, and then 10% niacinamide. Aside from those, you just have a little bit more of a fatty acid content to it than the Brightly, as well as allantoin in it. And my experience with this one, again, it's a little bit more rich. You get a lot more body, a lot more texture out of this. Just it feels a little bit more like a lightweight night cream. But this one also doesn't burn as much as the Brightly one. Don't know why. This one I find is just a little bit more gentle, more cushiony. Definitely prefer this one out of the two. But I will say these are definitely the standouts of the line. If there's anything from this line I think is the most worth it, it's definitely the actives and the treatments. They are a little bit pricier. I mentioned that earlier. But for me, actives and treatments are where you could spend a little bit more money. And specifically for these, it's a matter of you're getting these really nice actives. Ones that she probably prescribes to her own patients as a dermatologist. She's putting them in products already pre-formulated so you don't have to worry about mixing them and how things can be compatible with each other. Really great one-off multifunctional products in one go. What I also appreciate with the instructions is she tells you specifically how much to use over what period of time to start working these into your routine gradually to really minimize the likelihood of irritation and compromising your skin barrier. So they're really focusing on getting the best user experience out of these products right off the get-go, which I also appreciate and makes sense coming from a dermatologist. But that being said, they are a little bit potent, they are spicy. So even with me with my more resilient skin, I do recommend if you are gonna get these, which I think you should, ease them into your routine slowly. If you need to buffer them, do so. But did I see results out of these with consistent usage? Yes. These really help with minimizing the texture on my skin, as well as helping to minimize as well as prevent further breakouts from happening. And I found that as once my skin got really acclimated to these and it wasn't burning my skin, it really did help to calm down any excess redness I may get throughout the day. I flush really easily. My skin's very reactive, and this really helped to bring that down and give me just an overall more even complexion. Editing Ramon here, interrupting your regularly scheduled broadcast to amend what I wanted to say about the Dr. Sam moisturizers because I wasn't happy the first time around. So we're gonna talk about the Flawless Moisturizer Light as well as the Flawless Moisturizer regular texture. Starting off with the Moisturizer Light, for 22 pounds, as Dr. Sam claims, you have a light gel cream with ceramides, humectants, and light occlusives to keep your skin hydrated and balanced without being too rich, so it's nice for daytime use. Looking at some of the other formulation points, you got phytosphingosines, allantoin, ceramides, panthenol. So really what you're getting is a nice lightweight gel cream that's intended to keep your skin nicely balanced without being too heavy. Now the tea with this is it's not so lightweight. It actually is a little bit more rich of a gel cream texture that is intended for more oily skin, but even for myself, I find that unless I use a really small amount of this for daytime, it's a little bit too rich, so I more so prefer to use it during the daytime, which is why having used all the products, I argue that her serums themselves actually nicely moisturize more oily skin, and by themselves, they can keep my skin nicely balanced underneath sunscreens without needing much more moisturization. And then next we have the regular Flawless Moisturizer. This one retails for 25 pounds, and then compared to the light moisturizer, this one has a bit more richness, a lot more body, and to me, this is more geared towards dry skin types, or if you like a rich occlusive cream at night, a really great night cream option. But for me, oily skin wise, this is very rich. I use it a couple times a week, more so in the form of a rich occlusive night cream over other moisturizers, kind of in the form of a sleeping mask, to be honest, to really lock everything in. The main difference between the two of them is that this one has 5% niacinamide in the formulation to really help give your skin a little bit more of a barrier boost, as well as giving some more brightening benefits because that's what niacinamide is really great for. Also, shea butter is in this ingredients list a little bit higher up than in the light version, so you really get that richness, a little bit more of that occlusivity out of this one. But real talk, the thing with these is that these are very simple to the point moisturizers. And if you have more oily skin, you could really forego either of these depending on what your real needs are. Having oily skin, as I mentioned, the serums do enough for me during the daytime, and at nights, even using the light in itself is going to be nicely occlusive for me. If you have dry skin, this is a really nice option. These are just very straight to the point, more occlusive moisturizers that I recommend more so if you have more compromised skin, more sensitive skin, or if you have really dry skin. And then next is the one product I've actually reviewed from this line before, and that is her daily sunscreen, which comes in at 29 pounds for 50 ml. Looking at the claims for this, it's an 11.8 nano zinc plus 7% octinoxate plus 5% niacinamide sunscreen that's intended to really fuse the concept of having a serum based off the actives and the textures with a sunscreen, because you're getting very good SPF SPF 50 broad spectrum protection. She also intended for this to be a very elegant primer-like finish that preps your skin beautifully for makeup. But if you've watched my review for this, which I'll have up in the card up here, this was an interesting sunscreen. So all of these packaging-wise are very similar. They have this pump. With the sunscreen specifically, it's a metered pump. So each individual pump of the product is a standard dose. For this, it's a 1/4 teaspoon for each dose. And the instructions on this state that you do 1 pump, 1/4 teaspoon for your full face, and then another one for your neck to get the adequate protection advertised. And I'm all for that. I advertise that and talk about that all the time on my channel. But the thing is, a 1/4 teaspoon, I measured my face based off the 2 milligrams per centimeter squared you need for sunscreen. I don't need a full 1/4 teaspoon for my face. I need like 1/8 of a teaspoon for my face, and I usually do the other 1/8, or if anything, an extra 1/4 for the entirety of my neck, front and back. I did not have the best experience with this sunscreen, and I think it's because I used too much. White cast wise, minimal. Texture wise, it was nice. The issue for me was that it did not work well with makeup, and sometimes usage of it was a little bit weird. So I'm gonna test this out again using a smaller quantity, a more accurate quantity for my face, to see if I enjoy this, if it's a little bit different. But I will say this is a more natural to semi-matte finish, so I definitely recommend prepping your face with a nice moisturizer that has a little bit more emolliency. Her light moisturizer works perfectly for me. But this was interesting. I don't hate this. It's definitely intended for a very specific skin type and concern though. And then the last product in the line is her Flawless Lip, and this is basically very rich lanolin and ceramide. Here's the tea. I don't actually use a lot of lip balm. I'm a gloss kind of person, as you can tell. And so for me, when I'm not filming, usually what I have on my lips is Vaseline. And that forms enough of an occlusive layer for me. The thing with this is that it is rich. I'm trying to get out of the little thing. You have to squeeze really hard. And then what comes out at first is very sticky. It's very rich. It's very viscous. If you look at the reviews on the product website, that's what a lot of them say. It's very thick and very sticky. But once it warms up to your body's temperature on the lips or on your finger, it's not as sticky, and it works in really nicely into the lips. What I will say is that this does work to adequately keep moisture in your lip. You just got to make sure you got moisture in your lips in the first place. That's a big error I find people don't do properly with lip balms, is you have to have wet or hydrated lips before you put a lip balm on to be able to lock in any moisture in the first place. This will keep my lips nicely hydrated, emoliated, occluded for hours. It's a really nice texture. At 12 pounds for a lip balm is a little bit steep, kinda. But considering the fact that it does stay on the lip for so long and does its job for hours on end, and I find that I apply this like once a day, 12 pound isn't that much to me. So I really would consider this a nice option for something to use at night while you're sleeping, keeping your lips nicely nourished. I might consider repurchasing this, I'm not gonna lie. And with that, my overall thoughts on the Dr. Sam Bunting skincare line. As I mentioned, this is a nice line. It's simple to the point, but it does what it needs to do. My standout products obviously were the serums, but other products I really enjoyed. The cleanser, first of all, just because I've been reaching for that a lot, especially recently, as well as the lip product, just because to me it's a little bit different than what I normally use, and it does what it needs to do really well. Being Dermatologist designed and created, what they talk about consistently is the fact that the active ingredients in a lot of these products work to help strengthen the skin barrier, as well as give you a lot of anti-inflammatory and soothing benefits, so that your skin's a little bit less prone to irritation and sensitivity from the more high strength actives like the azelaic acid, like the retinoid, like the bakuchiol. So it's really intended to give you actives. You want actives in your skincare routines, especially to target more specific skincare concerns, and as a dermatologist, she recognizes that. But she wants to make the process a little bit more easy, a little bit less sensitizing, a little bit less daunting and scary. And that's what I think the line does really well, especially with the directions for the actives on how to slowly incorporate them so that you're slowly acclimating your skin to the ingredients. So that's my final thoughts on the Dr. Sam Bunting skincare line. Outside of the UK, I don't know how else to get a hold of these aside from the Dr. Sam Bunting website. You will have to pay for shipping and the conversion, and that's where things kind of get a little bit more expensive, just because converting from pound to US is a little bit much. To me, these serums are actually really, really nice. Depending on where I am when I'm done with these, I'm about halfway done with these at this point, I might consider repurchasing these just because they do feature ingredients I love and that my skin does react nicely to. And so besides those, maybe the cleanser and the lip balm would be things I would consider purchasing with my own coin. With that, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, and fancy related content on my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.